In Parshah Kedoshim, we have an incredible, huge mitzvah, right, of honoring our parents, of honoring parents. And once you become a parent, you know that your child has this incredible, huge mitzvah to honor you, to fear you, to have respect for you. So how can we better enable our children to actually fulfill this mitzvah? Later on a little bit in the Parshah, the Torah gives us 2 laws. It says, number 1, don't put a stumbling block before the blind. And it also says, do not curse a deaf person. Here, the Torah is giving us incredible tools how to enable our children that we should be able to respect us by not doing something. Putting a stumbling block in front of the blind, what is that compared to? That's compared to a parent criticizing, nitpicking, nagging, complaining, having incredible, huge expectations, always pointing out, living vicariously for their child. And then what do we end up doing? We end up putting this big stumbling block that is so hard for the child to honor you because all you're doing is putting them down. Second, about cursing the deaf person, what happens when, let's say one of our kids does something and you see that they just did it and you told them 100 times don't do that. So what do we see? In that moment they did something wrong. We're pouncing on them. I told you 1,000,000 times not to do that. Why can't you just, how many times do I have to? Didn't you learn? Right? We start criticizing, putting down, yelling. We start trying to teach. And at that moment, the child just goes deaf. They shut down. It's their way of actually protecting themselves is by not listening to somebody attacking them. It's not the moment that any chinuch can happen. It's not the moment that you can teach any child anything, give any musar, give any moral lessons, nothing. They just shut down. So basically you're yelling at them or trying to give over or telling them what they did wrong is kind of almost like cursing a deaf person because they are deaf to anything that you're saying at that moment. So in order for us to be able to have our children, which they have to do no matter what, honor us, we can make it easier for them to do this mitzvah by appreciating them, accepting them, loving them, respecting them. And also, we can also help them to do this mitzvah and give them chinuch and try to teach them by knowing the when and how and at the right time when to give over that. And at the moment when a person is so agitated, not just to a child, a parent to a child, but when anybody is so agitated and so upset, it's basically almost like yelling at a deaf person. They've shut down. They're off, and it's not the time.